Hello guys. Hello Isabel. Okay, now I'm about to do some small tutorial on how to actually create a simple template for. In fact, I'm creating a simple template for PyQt. Okay, graphical user interface using PyQt. So now what I'm going to do is first of all I have my space. This is my text editor. My text editor is brackets, as you can see the name brackets, and I'll be creating a Python script in here. So basically the first thing you should note is that before being able to create anything with Python, you need to have Python installed on your machine. Now if you don't have Python installed on your machine, I advise you to go to Google and actually try to, or Bing, anyone you are comfortable with, to actually download it. Now once you've downloaded it, the next important stuff is that you actually have. So the first thing, you need Python installed on your machine. The second thing is that after Python has been installed on your machine, you actually need to download the necessary libraries for the graphical user interface. Of course, Python automatically comes with what you call tkinter. But I don't use tkinter. I use PyQt5. This is the library I use for graphical user interface, and that's what I'm going to be using to create for this template. So after you have, the first thing is Python installed. The second thing is you actually need to have PyQt5 in your machine. So to do that, you open your command prompt. You go to your command prompt by hitting Control, or just open command prompt any way you want. You open the command prompt, then you type the command pip install PyQt5 and you hit enter. When you hit enter, also you need internet connection. Okay, some internet connection. It's about 50 megabytes, so you have to download it. After you've downloaded it, it's okay, you can use PyQt. Now I'm going to advise you to actually, once PyQt finishes to download, you should also download what you call, you say pip install PyInstaller. You should also use this because you're actually going to use this to actually create some kind of exe file, exe, so executable file of the script you actually created. So those are the two things you need: PyQt5 and PyInstaller. So you go to your command prompt and you type them and you hit enter. With internet connection, they will download, and when they're finished, well, you're good to go. The third thing is start coding. Simple as that. So I'll assume 1 and 2 are okay, but if they are not okay, please just go to your command prompt and for Python, you go to the Python website and actually download Python, and after that you can install this. If you're using a PyCharm, Anaconda, Spider, Jupyter, I guess this guys should be plugins that you just need to download for the IDE. So but I'll be working on using my text editor, brackets, and command prompt. So let's start. So basically this is learning tutorials. As you can see, it's my folder, it's on the desktop. This is where I'll be keeping the file. So I have this. So now what I need to do is create a file. I'll save it from the beginning so it can recognize Python. So I'm going to call it sample PyQt. Okay, sorry for that. Sam.py. Okay, that will be the name of my file. So let me start. Now the first thing you need to know is that you need to import the necessary modules. So now the necessary modules here, I have import sys. The application is going to need this. Then you have from PyQt5.qt widgets. Okay, import. Now what I'm going to be using in this sample is a Cure application, which is like the main stuff app. Okay, now you have now Cure widget. Okay, this is the class, this is the module, the class I'm going to be creating in this project is going to inherit from. I have a Cure label for the label. Okay, I have Cure line edit for fields where you can input stuff. I have the Cure push button, okay, for buttons. I have the Cure grid or VBox layout for my layout. Cure grid layout it's another type of layout, a grid. You can basically think of it as a grid. And then now I have, again, I'm going to use, I think that's all for this one. Okay, then from PyQt5.qt core, I'm going to import Cure font to change the font of some of my labels, of course. And I'm not just going to, sorry, this is QtGui. Okay, so now I have to import from PyQt5.qt core. I will import Qt. Now what I actually want to use from Qt is the align right, align left, align center. That's basically what I want to use, but I'll be using align left. Okay, so now that I have all my modules, all my necessary modules imported, I can start with the class. So I'm going to call the class sample. You can name it whatever you like after, based on your project. So I have class sample, and here it's going to be extending Cure widgets, as I said earlier. Now do not forget your quote, your double quotes, your colon. And then now here I will say def underscore 2 underscores init and say self. Now this self is the instance object that you created using this class sample. So in here now you call the constructor for the Cure widget. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you do what you want to do. So in my case, I'm going to call an attribute of this class called initialize window. Now, as the name implies, it's going to initialize the basic properties of my window. So I go forward to actually writing it. Initialize window, I have self. Remember, most methods, in this case attributes, will require you to put the self. The self here is the instance object that will be created later. So I will remember to mention it when it is done. So in this place, I'm going to start by setting self dot set window title. Now what will be the title of the window? I'll say okay, simple sample PyQt project. I'm going to set the geometry of the window. Like the first parameter is the x coordinate, the x layout, where it should be. The second is the y coordinate, where it should be on the screen. The third argument is actually the width, I'll say 400, and this one now is the height. So after this, I will decide now and create a method called create widgets. Okay, that is actually going to create my widgets. Okay, so before that, even I'm going to create self dot make choose layout. Now this is going to create a main layout for my window. So now that I have this, I can say self.show. Now show will actually show the window, as you can imagine. So now the first thing I have to write now is def choose layout. Okay, now in def choose layout, again you have to put self, which is the instance object that was created from this class, which is the window. In here I'm going to create a VBox that will serve as my main layout, in which all the other widgets will be put. So I'll say cure VBox layout. Okay, I've created it, and then now I'm going to say self.set layout. So I'm setting the layout of the window to be this VBox. That is done. So basically that's just all what this attribute does. So the next step is actually this method create widgets. Okay, and now this is where you actually create the what you want. Now I'll create a basic graphical user interface with labels and input fields like cure line edits and a simple button. Okay, so now what is going to happen is this is going to be, I'll start with the labels first. Labels, so the first label will be some kind of welcome message. So I'm going to call it welcome, and I'm going to initialize it cure label with the welcome message. Welcome. Now I'm going to say welcome.set font. I want to set the font cure font. Okay, and then now I'm going to say area. Okay, and the size will be, let's start with 25. I don't know what it's going to give, but let's just try it. I set the font and I set the alignment. You should occupy, pardon. Set the alignment. Sorry for that. It seems like I was being called. So I'm going to set the alignment. So set alignment. Okay. So this actually, I'll use the qt dot align center. Okay, this is what I do. So okay, I have it well. So since it's my first widget, I can actually add it directly to my VBox, here, self.v_box.add widget. You use the add widget, and I put my welcome. Okay, that's the first one I added. So now the second one is actually the info message. So info underscore message is equal to cure label. Okay, cure label, I'm going to call it, this is where I actually put the info, like enter the following information below. Enter the information below. Yeah, I'll just go and say enter the information below, and that's it. That's it. So I'm just going to add it. So self.v underscore box dot add widget, and then I'll put the info underscore message. Okay, so basically that's it. And then now I'm going to create the last cure label, which I will not add straight away because it's the last thing I have to add. I'll call it self.result. Now the reason I put self.result is because I actually want it to be in the namespace of the instance object that was created, that is the window. So I want it to be in the namespace so I can refer to it afterwards to change its value. So I'm going to say self equals to cure label. I'm going to say result. Okay, I'm going to say result, or in this case let me just say the result. Why complicating? Okay, basically I want to set its alignment to set alignment. I want to set it to left. Okay, so basically I'm done with the labels. So let me go now to the main guy. Here I'm going to create a grid layout. Okay, so I'll call it main underscore grid, and I'm going to call it, sorry about that, I'm going to call it main underscore grid, and I'm going to shade that. Okay, now in this grid I'm going to create now the elements that are going to go in the grid. Now the first, it's going to have two columns, and 3 rows. So the first column, will be labels. Okay, they're going to be labels. So now that they're going to be labels, I can actually say, okay, let me just say label 1 is equals cure label, and I put the name, enter value 1, something of that sort. Then I'll create label 2, which is another cure label, enter value 2, and then I have label 3, which is cure label, enter value 3. Okay, now that I have the 3 labels, I'm just going to add them directly into my main grid. So I'll say main underscore grid dot add widget. So I'm going to say label 1, then I come down and say main underscore grid dot add widget label. Oh, sorry, I need to actually precise where it is. So it's 0 0. This means 0 0 is the first cell of the first column. So now I have label 2, which is going to be at 1 0. Now this is the second cell of the first column. Now our main underscore grid dot add widget, and this is label 3, and it's going to be at 2 0. That is the third cell of the first column. So basically I've inserted my labels. So the next thing I have to create is actually the fields where you have to enter the values. So I'm going to second column, for edit. So it's going to be, I'm going to call it label1 underscore field, which I'm going to instantiate. Actually, I'm going to say self because I want it to be in the namespace of this instance object so that I can use it. Label1 field is equals to cure line edit. Now you use the cure line edit to do that. Now I have self dot label2 underscore field is equals to cure line edit. Now I have self dot label3 underscore field, which I will call cure line. Sorry, I'll instantiate using cure line this. Okay. Now I have them, so I can add them to my grid. Main underscore grid dot add widget, and I put self dot label1 underscore field, and now I'm putting it at 01. This is the first cell of the second column. Okay, so now I go to the other one, grid dot add widget. I have self dot label2 underscore field. This will be at 1 1. This is the second cell of the second column, and so I have main grid dot add widget self dot label3 dot underscore field. Now this will be 2 1. That's the third cell of the second column. Now we have our grid already in place. So what I'm going to do now is add the grid to my VBox. So I'll say self dot v underscore box dot add layout. Be careful here, layout, not widget. And I say main underscore grid. Okay, I've added it. Now the next step will be to create a button. Sorry, I actually said button. Okay, now to create a button, I'm going to call the button compute. Okay, I'm actually going to say serve.compute. Okay, I want it to be available somehow. Okay, is equals to cure push button. Okay, cure push button. That's it. Now the name of the button, I want it to be compute. Okay, now what I do is now I'm going to link the signal. I'm going to create some kind of, in fact I'm going to link the signal sent by the button when it is clicked to a slot, a particular slot. A slot is just a method, so when the button is clicked, I'll connect the fact that the button is clicked as a signal to a particular method, which is a slot called do something. Feel free to change the name because it's do something is some kind of old-fashioned. So okay, now that's done. All I need to do is place this button in on my layout. So I have self.v underscore box dot add widget. Okay, I'm adding the widget. The widget is a button, so I'm going to say self.compute since it's the button. So I'm actually going to add a btn there just to make sure that we know it's a button. Before I even add it, I think I'm going to add it to the grid so that it makes a little bit it's presentable, or I'll do that at the end. Okay, now everything, I think everything is almost there. We have almost everything we need, so we actually have to add the last thing, which was just that label self.v underscore box. Remember the label we left at the beginning widget, which was self.result. Okay, now that is great. Everything is okay. I've put everything inside, so the only thing that is left to do is actually write this method. So I'm going to say def do something which takes a self. So yeah, basically all what I need to do is say I want to add the, in fact I just want to print the inputted values. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some kind of variables, or why not, I'm just going to print them out. Okay, I'm just going to print them out. So I'm going to say I'll create val1, which is going to be self.label1 underscore field. Remember, this is the field where you enter value 1 dot text. Now the dot text actually gets what's in the field. Okay, so val2 is going to be self.label2 underscore field dot text, what's in the second, and this is going to be what's in the third. Okay, just like this. Okay, so basically it takes that, and your logic is here based on what you want to do with the values you just got. Okay, it could be computing energy or any other thing based on the values. So yeah, I'm just going to print them. So print, I will say val1, or let me put in the values entered are I will say val1 comma, put something like I don't know, something like space, and then this, and then this. Okay, then val2, then this, and then this, and then this, and then val3. So basically that finishes my stuff, and all what I need to do now is actually this verify if this name is exactly equals to main, and if it is, I'm creating an app using the cure application that I mentioned earlier, and it takes argument sys.argv arguments. Okay, then now I'm going to be creating an instance object, which I remember I said I was going to use. So this self you're seeing everywhere, self is actually created down here. Like I'm going to call it window is equals to it's the name of my class. Okay, sample sample. Now this particular sample creates an instance object, okay, of the class sample, and that instance object now is what you see referred to as self everywhere. Okay, self, it's this stuff. Okay, then now the last part is just you actually saying that you want the thing to exit, that's the app to exit properly using this. Now the app.exec underscore actually starts an event loop. Okay, it starts an event loop. So basically it's all about the project. Of course someone will say you forgot something, and that's very true, because no, everything is there. Well, let's try it. Okay, let's try it. Can be good. Okay, or desktop. Okay, so now I'm just going to say Python, the name is SimplePyQtGui. Okay, they say not source file or directory. Okay, and that's because I'm keeping my files in learning tutors, so I actually have to say learning tutors. Okay, I change the directory. Now that I've changed the directory, I can now say Python SimplePyQtGui. Okay, we have some errors. Let's see. They say data in module Windows sample. They say sample line init. Okay, self initialize window. Okay, this. Okay, they say sample object has no attribute compute. Okay, compute. Okay, this is it. Okay, we forgot to change this. Okay, now let's see if there will be another error. No error. Great. So this is it. Basic application using PyQt. You can see everything is there. Welcome. This has changed. You can see this from my font. I changed. Okay, this is it. This font, the size was good, 25. Now this is the message. Enter the information below and all the other stuff we added. This so let me try and say this is not really amazing, exciting. Well, this is good. So basically it prints something, I think, in the console. Okay, this is good. So it works. Okay, but now maybe I want let me say I want the result to appear here. Okay, so all I need to do is it might do something. Instead of doing the or, I could just leave this and I come and I add something here. I say okay, I know that the label is self result, so all I need to do is based on this value I will say self dot result dot set text. Okay, I use this to set the text. So basically what I do is I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to pick this up. Okay, copy, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, now I need to put this. Okay, so the values entered okay, it will change that result to this. So let's try this. Okay, let me try this is good and say I press compute. Hola, they say too many arguments. Okay, set text. Okay, let me try and see. There should be a problem there. Set text. Okay, too many arguments for this guy. So let me change this. Like you have the result is, now I'm going to put this. I'm going to use a format and I'm going to put val. Okay, I'm going to do this. Now these are just placeholders. Okay, placeholders for what I'm going to put in this format. So I have value 1, value 2, value 3. So this should be okay. Now it runs. So I say this is good, and so I print, and there is it. It has changed. Okay, that's changed to what you can see down here, and it actually printed this one. So basically that's just a basic stuff on PyQt. Okay, I hope this helps. This is the general template. What you should remember is that your class has to extend either cure widget or some other guys like cure main window, but generally for simple projects it's cure widget. Okay, it has to extend it like this. Now you need the constructor for the class. Okay, this self represents the instance object that was created here. Okay, and then now you have a series. You must call the supers your base classes constructor, and from there now you can actually create the methods you want. This one actually initializes the window, it sets the title and actually sets the geometry. Now I have two other functions here, or methods or attributes, whatsoever you would like to call them. I have this that just helps me choose the layout for the window, and then this that actually creates all my widgets. This is what creates all my widgets, as you can see. Okay, and then now I created this method that is what happens when the button is clicked. Okay, so now generally this is where the logic of your application is going to be, in the what happens when the button is clicked. Okay, so generally this is it. Now this is a must, it must be there. Okay, this creates the application, like I would like to say it creates the thread for the application you're about to run. Okay, now this creates an instance object of the class sample, which actually does all of this. Okay, and shows, because you can see here the self.show. Okay, after all these ones have executed, and then now this now actually just helps proper closure of the app when you hit exit. But this now is the event loop. Okay, so basically that's it. This is basic stuff. Again, you can see from here. Okay, so basically that's it. Now suppose you want to actually have this to be like you have it in an ex, an executable. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to come to your command prompt, and in the folder where your file, your script is, you're going to say py installer, okay, -15 space, now the name of your Python script. In our case it's SimplePyQtGui. Okay, and you hit enter. It's going to generate some stuff, it's going to do stuff. Okay, just wait a little bit, and it's going to create the executable for your Python script. A lot of stuff. Really, thank you those guys building all these things for us. Really, it's amazing. It's amazing. We hope we will be able to do stuff like that one day. We're working for it. So you can see it actually generates stuff. Okay, it says that your executable was created in the dist folder. As you can see, it appeared here, dist, and you have your executable here. Of course, you cannot open in brackets, but we can actually go and take a look at it. Okay, so we go to dist, and this is it. So when you hit enter, or you double click it, of course, it should execute. Okay, this comes out, execute. Okay, this is it. Okay, it will do the same stuff you want it to do. Okay, as you can see, it does it, and it actually prints it here too. Okay, so basically that's it. I hope it will help you. Good luck for your project. Yeah, good luck.